Today I'm going to go through all the copies of the Elvis album that I have, the second album by Elvis Presley. And it wasn't an album that I was particularly attached to when I was a younger fan because I never owned it. And I never needed to buy it because I had two compilations called the 56 Sessions Volumes 1 and 2. And all the songs on the album were on those two compilations, so I never needed to buy it. So it might be a bit of a surprise for you to see that I actually have this many copies of the album today. Anyway, let's go through them and I'll tell you which are my favorites. The first one I have, this is going in reverse chronological order, from 1992, is a Japanese pressing, and this is the last copy that was ever made in Japan. And I did a whole video about this series of albums that you can see here, 10 Japanese albums released in 1992. So check that out if you haven't seen it. Great sound on that album, lovely thick card cover. The printing on the front cover is not the best, really the only disappointing thing about it. So for example, if you compare it to this German copy that I have from 1987, according to Discogs, this is from 1987. The German copy has the nicer cover, I think, although the card on this one is very thin compared to the Japanese one, but the printing quality is actually better. The image is much crisper on this version here. So the German one, as I say, it seems to be from 1987, and it's on this black RCA label. This one is in stereo. Most copies that I have are actually in mono, but that German one there is in stereo. Going back a couple of years prior to that, in 1985, or perhaps late 1984, in America, this came out, one of the 50th anniversary LPs, and it even still has its obi there. And this was remastered and reissued in mono on this 50th anniversary label. In Japan, they also had the same series, but they had their own obis, of course, all of which look like this. And this one is also in mono, and it also has that same 50th anniversary label. And again, the cover image on this Japanese one is not as sharp as the American one. This artwork here is from the earlier pressings, 1973 and 1977. Which I can't show you at the moment, but I do have a copy from 1972. And this is interesting because the lettering is actually in yellow. And this is a particularly rare copy from Japan. This one is made by Victor Musical Industries. And this is actually the second version that was released on RCA in Japan. And this album was only available in stereo for a long time in Japan. So this one, as you can see, is in stereo. This is a UK copy from 1971. Beautiful cover there. And you can see that the UK title is different. It's called Rock and Roll No. 2 in the UK. The tracks are exactly the same. And this one also has an orange label. This is another Japanese one with the yellow lettering, very similar to the one I just showed, but this one has a different maker. So in Japanese here and also in English down here, it points out that it's made by Victor Company of Japan. So this one would have been available from 69 to about 72. And the front cover is basically the same as, well, it's exactly the same as the slightly later one. Just the manufacturers are different. And also the later one here, it has no cutaways at the top of the cover. But the earlier one, you can see it has these cutaways here at the top and bottom. Here's another UK copy. This one is in mono. The last one I showed from 1971 was in stereo. This one's in mono. And this one is from 1967. And it has this red spot RCA Victor label. I think I found that one here actually in Japan. Pause for a cup of tea. This is another mono one from the UK. Exactly the same cover as the last one. This one, however, has a different label design, a little bit earlier than the previous one. This is from 63. The next one is really, really rare. This is a Japanese stereo copy, the first Japanese stereo copy from May 1962. And the cover is very similar to this mono copy from April 62. And it just has the lyrics on the back, along with some Japanese liner notes. There is one slight difference in the running order of these two albums. The stereo copy, the one with the red obi there, that actually has, as you'd expect, Rip It Up as the first song. But this is the mono copy here. And if you look at the label there, you can see that the first song is actually Love Me, with Rip It Up following. And there's the other label. And they actually released the second album that way in 1957. This is the original Japanese pressing. I did a video about this one because it's in beautiful condition, but sadly it's cracked right on the outside edge. And as I mentioned before, I did actually find a second copy of the album, not quite as good condition wise. And this first pressing from 57 is like that second mono pressing from 62 in that it has Love Me as the first track. And the last copy I have, the oldest copy I have, is not an American original, but one that's probably just as good, at least from a collector's point of view, and that is the UK copy on HMV. And this is a really hard album to find in good condition. This cover is not bad actually. I've seen a lot worse than this one. It's still in one piece. The laminate's peeling a little bit on the edges there, but there are no holes in the cover and it's not torn anywhere. And as you can see, it has a completely different cover to anywhere else. And I believe this is the shirt that Elvis wore for the Tupelo concerts at the end of 1956. That was given to him by, what's her face, Anita Wood? No, not Anita Wood, I've got it wrong. It's Anita, what's the bloody name? Natalie Wood. And the label is also completely different to anything we've looked at so far on this plum HMV label. Same tracks as the US album and the Japanese album. And this album actually taught me the value of having a mono cartridge, because when I first played this on a stereo turntable, or on a turntable with a stereo cartridge, I could hear a little bit of distortion on a couple of tracks. Funnily enough, not at the end of the sides, but at the beginning on Rip It Up and on Old Shep. And I decided to get a mono cartridge and from my second turntable. And when I played this album on there, the distortion disappeared. So I can only put it down to the mono cartridge. And I have another couple of albums as well, UK copies of Gold Records Volume 2, where there was some inner groove distortion on the track Treat Me Nice, and that played perfectly as well with the mono cartridge. As for the songs on this album, I'm a big fan of all the songs. There's just one song that I think could have been done better, and that is First in Line. There's just too much echo on that song for me. But other than that, musically it's an excellent album. As for which copy I would keep, hypothetically, if I could only keep one as a plain copy, it would be a toss-up between the Japanese 50th anniversary or the American 50th anniversary. I'd probably go for this one because it does have a slightly nicer front cover than the Japanese one. And as for the collector's item, if I could only keep one copy as a collector's item, of course, I'm sure you can guess, there's no doubt it would be this one here. So that's my collection of Elvis #2, Rock and Roll #2, call it what you want. What do you think of this album? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Cheers.